Welcome to what I believe might be my most difficult rebuild of FM24, maybe of the whole entire game cycle. We are picking up Queen's Park Rangers, currently sitting 23rd in the Sky Bet Championship. Last season, you cast your mind back 12 months, they were top of the championship. Mick Beale was in charge and the Super Hoops were on a charge to the Premier League. Mick Beale left to the Scottish Rangers and everything went a little bit downhill. Gareth Ainsworth come in and Queen's Park Rangers survived the championship literally just about. It was quite the fall from grace, and this season things have not gone to plan. Like I said, sitting 23rd in the league, and they've just sacked Ainsworth and brought in Spanish manager Martí Cifuentes. So today we're going to be trying to rebuild Queen's Park Rangers, and as you look through the squad, you'll very quickly realise why I believe this is going to be one of my hardest rebuilds to date. If you look at the age profile, we've got a 32-year-old Steve Cook, yes, that one, a 33-year-old Jack Colback, a 35-year-old Albert Adoma. In goal is Asmir Begovic, very good goalkeeper, but 36 years old. The age profile of this squad is just simply horrendous. The money here at QPR is not great. There's £3.5 million in the bank. You've got no transfer budget. You've got no wage budget, which means for season number one, we're making absolutely no signings. They've got Lyndon Dykes up front, who in real life can't hit a barn door sometimes for QPR. And I've been to quite a few QPR games myself, and he is one of the most frustrating players to watch in the world. This guy can be unbelievable, and he can get himself in some fantastic positions and then will miss from 2 yards out. It is the most frustrating thing, but the Scottish number 9 is our striker for this season. We've got the Moroccan wonderkid, not even wonderkid, just whiz kid, Ilias Chair. This guy is fantastic. He's been at QPR now since 2016, and is really the Adel Tarabt 2.0 in a sort of way. The streets won't forget Adel Tarabt, and Ilias Chair being here at QPR is fantastic. Chris Willock, a fantastic central attack midfielder or winger, but can't stay fit, massively injury prone, not very consistent, and is a bit of a difficult player to get a tune out of. So hopefully we can get something out of big Chrissy Willock. Paul Smythe is here. Sam Field, to me, is a lower Premier League player DM. I think he's actually fantastic. FM doesn't rate him quite as highly as I do. And this guy is very, very good. He was linked with Burnley in real life in the summer and didn't end up staying at QPR. He is, I believe, the captain at this point. So yeah, Sam Field is looking very good, but might be collateral damage at some point to hopefully raise some funds. We'll see Jack Colback, Kenneth Power at left back, Jake Clark Salter, Stevie Cook, Reggie Cannon is a brand new signing at right back, as well with Begovic in goal. The backups, Archer, Jimmy Dunn, Andre Dazelle, Sinclair Armstrong is our wonder kid prospect. This guy is fantastic in real life, and again, I don't think FM quite rates him as highly as I do watching him and what I've seen him do to some defenders. He is outrageous. He's 6 foot. This, I don't know where his strength stat is, to be honest. Strength is 15. Yeah, that's probably about right, to be fair. His pace is electric. His finishing needs a little bit of work, but he's now got his first goal for the club in real life, and I think he's going to kick on. Morgan Fox is backup left back. Taylor Richards used to be at Brighton and was a very good prospect. How he's aged and not got very well. Stephen Duke McKenna is a good enough youngster as well. 22 years of age. He's got decent enough stats around the board, and I think the level of Duke McKenna on FM probably shows where we're at as a club, that this is one of our better players. Trent Randall, Aaron Drew and Elijah Dixon Bonner. So a lot of youth players that aren't quite up to the ability and haven't quite got the potential are here as well. Looking through the development centre, you can see, again, the potential is upper League One, lower as Championship, and it's a painful thing to see when there's not a lot of money at the club, a lot of older players, and already not the greatest youth system in the prospect. The actual predictions for the Championship this year with the season preview, we are in 20th, expected to just survive relegation. So we're going to go ahead and do the first season exactly how it is going in real life. Hopefully survive, that would be fantastic. And yeah, bring you back for the end of season 1. If we can get a tune out of them, things will go well, and that's exactly what's happened here in our save. We've got them into 13th, a mid-table championship club, which I think all QPR fans would take this season. Just survival would be absolutely key, but 13th was a very good season. A -2 goal difference, but 15 wins, 15 draws, 16 losses, 60 points. Yeah, that's a pretty good season given the absolute mess that the club is currently in. But yeah, I mean, the board haven't really helped us too much. We've got £5 million in the bank, and at some points last season, we were negative 10 million. So they've given us a grand total of £1 million to go and spend, in a wage budget of £12,500 as well. And things, trust me, don't get much easier. Asmir Begovic leaving the club. He was our standout player last season, 7.01 average rating. He conceded a lot of goals, but to be expected when the defence in front isn't the best. 48 games, 79 goals conceded, but was very good. He's out the door and leaving. I believe Jack Colback is retiring as well, which is simply fantastic. One of our better CDMs out of the door. Players that don't want to be here anymore. Jimmy Dunn, future captain in my eyes. He's a fantastic centre-back. Needs to get back from injury and play him. Doesn't want to be here anymore. Sinclair Armstrong didn't play enough games, or does he want a new contract potentially? Wants a new contract. Plays 17, 28 off the bench, 7 goals. Developed okay, but hasn't quite kicked on to what I'd hope in season 1, number 1. Steve Cook is aging very much so. 8 pace and 9 acceleration. Yeah, it's not going to cut it. Steve Cook has not been fantastic, but we haven't got the money to go and spend and to improve this squad. And like I said, the youth here doesn't fill with confidence either. So really, this is a transfer window. I've got absolutely no idea what is going to happen. £1 million in the bank, no money to spend. We're probably going to have to make a big sale in terms of selling one of our better players to fund the rest of the team is what I think is going to happen. So let's see what goes on. Another 2 months down the line, is this team going to look better, worse, or are we pretty much just going to keep all the deadwood around because that's all we can do? So my game plan for this summer was to sell someone big. And like I mentioned, Sam Field for me is an top playoff championship player, if not lower, Premier League centre defensive midfielder. And he is out the door. He has gone to Watford. We managed to get £4.5 million for him, which I think is a good amount of money. And it enables us to invest it all into the wage budget, which I get is entirely risky, especially with the finances that we are looking at. I mean, to be fair, we've done very well with the finances over the summer, but that was our big sale, and I think developing everything into wages means that we're going to be able to get some great players on a free contract. £4.5 million in transfer budget equates to a lot in wage money. So Sam Field, thank you for your service, my good friend, but you are out the door. And just to confirm as well, the retired players or the released players, Jack Colback ended up retiring as mentioned previously. Asmir Begovic also retired after not getting a new contract. I mean, we tried to offer him all the money in the world that we had, but he wasn't staying. So Asmir Begovic has also left the club. Elijah Dixon-Bonner has left the club on a free contract. Vanarama National League ability currently, so there's a reason that he was no longer sticking around. Andrew Dazelle, I think, is a very good player in real life, but we didn't decide to keep his contract. We wanted to try and improve the team a little bit, so Dazelle is out the door, and it probably says a lot that he's not been to a new club in over a month of being gone, so there is that to say as well. But in terms of the players that really progressed last season, Stephen Duke McKenna last season was fantastic. He played 44 games, 5 goals, 11 assists as our starting winger alongside Ilias Chair and Chris Willock. Paul Smythe didn't quite get the game time, so he actually developed very nicely. So Stephen Duke McKenna is into the squad, and he says just here as a good League One player, good Championship player, his potential. But if he can keep progressing the way he is, and if he's a QPR lad, I mean, he was from, I believe, Everton, and QPR signed him quite some years ago, to fair, 2019. So he's been with the youth system now for about 4 or 5 years. So if we can make Duke McKenna a very good player, that would be good to see. Lyndon Dykes last season, I didn't really go through it, scored 17 goals, 41 appearances, was very, very good to be fair as our striker, and he was playing as an advanced forward as well, so impressive that Lyndon Dykes actually managed to go ahead and do anything. And in terms of transfers we've made this summer, we have actually not spent a single penny. The first signing is a loan signing of Lamar Bogade from Aston Villa. This guy looks very, very good. Dutch CDM, replaces Jack Colback for free. A loan signing which I think can do massive things for us. He was on loan in League One last season, had a good enough season. So he's going to step up to the Championship this year, and hopefully he's going to help us up to that next level. Some great stats, very well rounded, 6 foot tall, and is going to be just a ball winner to sit there and destroy. And like I said, everything else was a free contract. We decided to dip into the free market, put all of our money into wages, and that's exactly what we've done with Jensen, where he is a youngster from Brighton, 4-star potential, 3-star current ability, very similar to Andrew Dazelle with a bit more potential, I would say, a bit more of a creative midfielder like Andrew Dazelle is, and also got the energy as well, which is fantastic. So a good free signing there from Brighton in Jensen Veer. Lucas Bergstrom has come in to be our starting goalkeeper to replace Asmir Begovic. Now, being 6'8", a 19 area reach, 19 communication, 20 jump and reach, I just like the sound of it in the Championship, having a keeper that can come out, claim the ball, and you haven't got to be worried about him getting outbeaten in the air. Or, I mean, Senny Dieng was a fantastic goalkeeper, but sometimes a little bit too small. We've gone the complete other way. Maybe not the greatest shot-stopping goalkeeper, but the tallest man you will ever see. So Lucas Bergstrom, a free contract from Chelsea, is in, currently 2.5-star ability, but hopefully he can do bits. We've done a brand new striker to compete with Lyndon Dykes, and his name is Joel Montero. This guy's from Young Boys in Switzerland. Again, some very well-rounded stats. Good finishing, good pace, good determination, very consistent, which is good to see. a little bit injury prone, but already a value of £9 million. Worst case scenario is sell him for 4 or 5 next summer to, again, just get some money back into the club, because that is the most difficult thing in this rebuild. 100% is the finances. So if we can just keep on top of that and grow this QPR zone at the same time, maybe at the end of this 5 years we can get into the Premier League. But you can see the career he's had. He's not been an absolute goal scorer everywhere he's been, but hopefully that can change here in England with Joel Montero. Joshua Squires has come in, just a free contract release from Southampton. Good enough potential, 3.5 stars. Going to sit as one of our backup midfielders. Papa Gay has come in. Now this guy is an absolute steal. We've got him on £18,000 a week, which is quite expensive. He's not the greatest finisher in the world, but he is very energetic, which we're going to be playing a gegenpress system, trying to be aggressive on teams, and he fits that absolutely perfectly. He's got great consistently, released from Marseille, and is fantastic. He's going to be literally brilliant this season. He gets forward whenever possible as well. Just hopefully he doesn't shoot, because he can't do that very well. But a very good left-footed midfielder has come in, and then a last-minute signing has come in as well. I was going to keep Duke McKenna as our starting winger for the whole season, but I got a little bit worried about his current ability at 2.5 stars. So Alexis Claude Maurice has come in. He's released from Nice in France. He's been at Lens last season as well, and a very, very good attacking winger. This guy's a little bit injury prone again, but extremely consistent, enjoys big matches, very good dribbling, very good pace. At 5'9", he really suits the sort of mould of the team with Ilias Chair, Chris Willock and himself. So the team is looking like so. Bergstrom in goal, Reggie Cannon at right back, Clark Salter and Jimmy Dunn as the 2 centre-backs, with Kenneth Powell at left back. A half-back in front with Bogard. Well, hopefully we're going to be playing more of a 3-3-2-1, a 5-3-2 effectively, or a 5-3, I can't think what it, a 5-2-3 is what I'm trying to say, with Bogard dropping into the middle centre back, Cannon and Powell bombing on, with Weir in midfield, again pure energy, with Ilias Chair as a Metzala on attack in the centre, with dribble more and run wide of the ball, because Willock's going to cut inside as an inside forward on support, with roam from position and tackle harder. So again, with this nice positional play, we should see Powell bombing on, we should see Willock cutting in, and Chair be an option out here as well, with Claude Maurice on the right hand side as a winger on attack, with Montero down the middle with pass shorter and shoot more often. We've got Mahoney as the backup goalkeeper, Osman Kaikai, Steve Cook, Morgan Fox and Lacaresche as the backup defenders, Squires, Papagay and Taylor Rich as the backup midfielders, with Duke McKenna, Armstrong and Dykes, as well as keeping around at Albert Adoma. He's retiring next season, and I thought, you know what, we'll keep Big Unks at the club. He's not going to get much game time, but we'll give him his money. He's 3.5k a week. He can then retire nicely after this season. So Big Uncle Albert Adoma, if you don't know, is an absolute legend, and I get to know him on Instagram as well. He always uploads just ridiculous skills that you wouldn't think Albert Adoma would be able to do. He is an absolute techie baller. We're obviously in the Carabao Cup, FA Cup and the Championship this year, so let's get right into it. For season number 2, how have we done in rebuilding this QPR side? And of course, this is available for you guys on Patreon as well. A massive thank you to the Patreon members on screen right now. You are literally helping make my dreams come true of trying to make this a full-time thing in the future by supporting on Patreon. And you get these rebuild files down in the down on the Patreon. They are obviously end of season 5, so at the end of the rebuild you can pick it up. But if you want from this point onwards, where I've done all these transfers, I do keep these save files for around a month all installed. So if you want to pick up from all my brand new signings, or if you want to just, you've stayed in the Championship and want to build at the end of this real life season, I can send that to you as well. So if you do want to help support, Patreon down below is the best place to do it, and obviously you can get bits for it as well. So a massive thank you to anyone that does do that. You're absolute legends. But let's get back into it for season number 2. Well, hello. I posed the question of how did I actually rebuild QPR and how well did I do it? Very well, apparently. We come 3rd. It's infuriating we did get promoted, because coming 3rd and not getting promoted is always very, very annoying. But maybe it would have been a season too early. But what a rebuild we've already kicked off here. Season number 2, we are in it as a playoff club, which they should have been last season. I genuinely think for QPR, the squad is there to be a mid-table Championship core squad. And I think what we've done by selling Sam Field, who is a fantastic midfielder, like I've said, and who's now got relegated, which is absolutely peak for him. How funny. That is how it worked out. We've switched roles completely. But like I said, with QPR, they very much are a mid-table club if you look at their squad. Ilias Chair, Chris Willock, defensively, they're very, very good, and Begovic is definitely a playoff goalkeeper. It's just sadly not gone well for them with Gareth Ainsworth, and I think it will get turned around, and I think we've shown that here as well by the quality of the squad. We were predicted this season with the signings that we made to finish in 15th. So again, pretty much mid-table, but a massive overachievement. 91 points, 50 goal difference, 29 wins, 4 draws and 13 losses. Quite a way off Sunderland and Southampton at the top, but 1 point ahead of newly relegated Luton, 3 points ahead of newly relegated Sheffield United, and 10 points clear of Ipswich, who are going up to the Premier League. And the Cups, we didn't do anything in. I'm not fussed about that at all. But in terms of our star performers this year, well, I locked in Ilias Chair to be the left centre mid of Metzala because I wanted him to play loads of games, and Jimmy Dunn to be a centre back to hopefully progress him. It didn't really work. He didn't really get that good, so we're going to stop that experiment. But Jimmy Dunn is an absolute legend. Lyndon Dykes, 30 goals and 7 assists. A fantastic season, and he's really not playing in a role that suits him at all. We've got him as an advanced forward, and he is bagging goals for fun. Ilias Chair, 15 goals, 12 assists is fantastic. João Monteiro, 13 goals, 4 assists as a backup striker, and like I said, he is now worth £9.8 million, and he's unhappy. He's alienated in his playing time. If we can get £9 million for him, absolutely fine. Papagay has 6 finishing, but scored 11 goals and got 8 assists, which is great. Duke McKenna, 9 goals, 18 assists. Jensen Veer, 8 and 11. Alex Corbin-Rees with 6 goals, 10 assists, and Chris Willock with 5 and 10. Definitely for Chris Willock again, it's a case of just not being fit enough throughout the season, but now wanted by Middlesbrough, hopefully. I mean, if we either sell him and get some money for him, or we can do bits from there. Reggie Cannon, fantastic again, 7.04. A real coup for QPR in real life, obviously released from Boa Vista in Portugal, but at FC Dallas, and it's quite a big name, Reggie Cannon, so 28 caps for the US national team is just fantastic, and the fact that he's gone there in real life sort of says the pull of QPR, and the fact that he believes in the project. £21 million in value, and in fact, in finances, things are looking quite good. £15 million in the bank right now, which is lovely to see. A £4 million transfer budget and 60k in wage budget. So the board believe we are close to getting promoted, so they're giving everything to us for this season, which is fantastic. And we've got Steve Cook retiring, we've got Osman Kaikai asking to leave, Kenny Powers wanted by Sunderland, who have just got out, which is going to be hard to keep him. Taylor Richards is asking to leave, Coley's asking to leave, Lyndon Dykes is wanted and potentially going to be leaving the club because he is good, but there could be a striker out there which does 10 times, well, twice as good. If we say 60 goals rather than 300 goals, someone could go out there and do that. I mean, he's got no pace, no finishing. Really, he is doing a job in a system that doesn't suit him at all. Respect to him, but hopefully we can improve it. We've got some good money. Let's go and see what we can do for season number 3. Well, I said that this could happen, and in fact, it has. £7.2 million in the door, and Lyndon Dykes is out of the club. I think that's a great amount of money to get for Lyndon Dykes. Like I said, Scottish number 9, so has certainly got some ability, but he just doesn't suit our style of play at all. And I think it's time to move on to a brand new striker. So to replace him as a loan signing, we've signed Yusuf Shamiti. This guy is a fantastic wonder kid on FM. And Sporting last year on FM, he was one of the go-to wonder kids to go and sign. He's moved to Everton in real life and hasn't progressed very well over the last couple of years. Scored 4 goals and 15 for Millwall last season. So he's going to come in and be a backup striker to João Monteiro. Or is he? Because £9.75 million, João Monteiro is out the door as well. And we've raised £18 million in strikers that simply aren't very good and not good enough for us. And one of them was a free transfer last year. Pretty much fits the same bill as Lyndon Dykes. 6'3", decent at finishing, decent enough pace. Certainly better than Lyndon Dykes in my opinion. And if I was playing the games, I'd have locked him into that striking position. But he's out the door, and I think we've raised a lot of money. And to replace him, we've gone ahead and used one of our ESC spots. Now, I don't know what an ESC spot is. This is news to me, whatever this is, but it seems like you can sign someone who doesn't get work permits. I think you can have 3 in your squad, which is awesome because it allows us to sign Sufnat Mwenta. This guy's a Thailand international striker. He is an absolute bagsman and suits our style of play to an absolute T. 14 finishing, 15 determination, 13 pace. This guy, if you've never used him on FM, he's sort of coming into the more mainstream FM this year. He looks fantastic, and we signed him for £1 million. And I'm absolutely buzzing to get Sufnat Mwenta in. And again, in terms of building a club, getting someone in who gives you massive financial attraction across the world, like Sufnat Mwenta does in Thailand and in Asia, fantastic thing to do because you get more shirt sales. And obviously, we spent all that money on a striker, only £1 million. We raised £18 million, which led us to go and sign one of the best young centre-backs on the game in Ronnie Edwards. Now, this guy cost us around £8.5 million, but look at him. 16 composure, great defensive work, good enough pace, builds out from the back and brings out defence, which is fantastic as a stat. And it's just 22 years of age, 155 games in the English leagues already, which is great. We've gone ahead and signed Alex Robertson on a free contract from Manchester City. There is a list that I've not released yet of the top 25 Asian and Oceania WONDERKIDS, and both him and Safnat Mwenta are both on that list, and we're going to see some African ones as well, which again I've not released just yet, but they are coming out very, very soon. Alex Robertson looks fantastic. 16 long shots, great passing, great pace, a free contract, and when I saw his name I was like, that's the guy from the list, and it is him. He looks fantastic, great potential, great consistency, potential to be a good Premier League player, so he is going to go in very, very nicely alongside Ilias Chair. Will the Fish has come in from Manchester United. He's got potential to be a decent Championship player. Right now as a League 2 centre-back, but is purely a rotation / very much a backup option. He's been on loan at Hibernian for the last couple of years in real life, and now he's going to be a backup here at QPR. Great heading on him. Georgie Dobson has come into the club. He's a DM from Charlton who is there's a bit of like I quite like George Dobson, all right? He's very brave, great leadership, great teamwork, great work rate. That is what you want in a DM, great aggression. He's an aggressive, ratty CDM, 6'1". I believe he's the captain of Charlton as well, so that leadership is going to come in very, very helpful for this quite young QPR side. Now, George Dobson is going to be a backup DM, but he's now here at QPR and on a free contract again. Is an absolute no-brainer. Odell Afia has come in on a free contract from Brighton. Again, very much a backup right back to Reggie Cannon. We didn't want anyone too good to come in, and he looks a little bit scary in this picture because Reggie Cannon is so good, and Odell is not going to get upset at his game time, so that's who we brought in for that position. Malcolm Ebewowi has come in on loan from Crystal Palace last season, played 34 games for Cardiff and our save, and is a good enough pacey winger to get balls in the box and to drive in and set up cutbacks, etc. So that is what he's there for. He's not the greatest finisher in the world, but great dribbling, great pace, great flair. Hopefully he can be a tricky little winger for us, and I believe that is it in terms of signings. The last sale I'm going to go through is Osman Kaikai. He's at the club to go to Shrewsbury, hence the signing of the backup right back Odell Afia, because we needed someone's backup to Reggie Cannon. The tactic is looking like so. We've changed it ever so slightly to hopefully get the best out of the team. Bergstrom in goal, Cannon, Dunn, Edwards and Powers the back five. Papa Gay as the halfback in DM, Weir and Robertson as the two midfielders, with Chair on the left, Willock on the right, and Safnat Mwenta up front. The backups of Joe Walsh, Odell Afia, Jake Clark-Salter, Will Fish, Morgan Fox, George Dobson, Duke McKenna as sort of the Metzala backup, Tyler Richards, Ebewowi, Claude Maurice, and Yusuf Chamiti. We have certainly got some very, very good young players in this squad. And again, I showed you at the start, the age profile was an absolute mess here at QPR. We have fixed that now. We haven't got too many ridiculous youngsters. We've got 22 years of age as our youngest player that we actually own, and 31 as our oldest. So a very mid-20s club, which is fantastic to see. Development centre, there's not a lot going on, to be honest. No one really of high potential in the under-21s. Under-18s, they've produced a few 4-star potentials, but again, nothing massive. If you actually look at the club info, the finances here are okay. The training facilities are pretty naff. The media predict us to come 9th this season. Last season we predicted to come 15th and come 3rd. So predict to come 9th. Can we get in the playoffs again? Well, yes, indeed we can. And you join me in the playoff final. We've beat Pie Faces Plymouth 3-1. The fact Plymouth versus QPR is here in season 3 only of a rebuild playoff final is absolutely ridiculous. John Duran scoring there for Plymouth. Odell Afia down the right hand side, flames Nestori Iran Kuda, who we signed in January. I'll show you him in just a second. Sets it back to Yusuf Chamiti, who scores to make it 2-1 in the 120th minute. The Thailand international Safnat Mwenta is going to go ahead and make things 3-1 and get QPR promoted to the Premier League. It's taken us 3 seasons, which is not a short amount of time, but given what's going on in real life, I think that is very, very good. We actually finished this season with one of our a much worse point tally than last season, 74 points, and we were the Crystal Palace last season, and this season we're the Ipswich. So it's quite funny how that's worked in back-to-back seasons. Norwich and Luton going up. Palace are in the Europa Conference League, which must mean they've won the Carabao Cup. I need to just, yeah, they have. Good luck, Palace. Conference League and Championship in one season is absolute hell. Yusuf Chamiti with 20 goals this season, and we were very, very good this season again. Now, let me quickly just show you Nestor Irancuda. I signed him in January because as I was making this, he has joined Bayern Munich in real life, and again, he's on that Asian Oceania WONDERKIDS list, and he looks absolutely ridiculous, doesn't he? He's 18 years of age as you start. He's very, very quick. Great dribbling, finishing, flair, determination. 9 games, 10 off the bench, 3 goals, 2 assists at Adelaide on our save to start off with. Obviously, he's moving to Bayern Munich in real life, so I'm sure that update will come out very soon. But Nestor Irancuda, get him while you can because he's going to be very, very expensive in the future. And his highlights in real life as well are pretty outrageous. So we went ahead and signed him in January. Goals-wise, 20 goals for Yusuf Chamiti, 18 for Safnat Mwenta, 15 and 12 assists for Elias Chair, 13 and 6 for Malcolm Mbawawi, 11 and 11 from Alex Robertson is great, 10 and 7 for Papa Gay, 3 and 2 for Nestor Irancuda, and the goals drop off massively. 11 assists for Reggie Cannon down the right-hand side again is fantastic. And just this season in general with our stats, with the 3rd most goals scored, joint 2nd on 100, and our goals conceded, we conceded 64. So we're a very fun team to watch, I would say. Lots of goals in our games, and 54% possession is very, very helpful to go ahead and help us do that as well. For the Premier League season, of course, the board have given us quite a lot of money. £39 million to spend, £200,000 in wage budget. I'm going to try and be quite clever because there's only £1 million in the overall balance, but obviously we are going to get, is it 85 million in TV revenue? So I think we've fixed QPR's finances, 30 million in net debt. Hopefully we can clear over the next few months, over the next few years, which would be good. So I can give this save to you at the end of season 5 with no debt. Hopefully some very, very good WONDERKIDS still at the club, and maybe even a solidified Premier League side. So we've got 2 seasons to go and do our Premier League transfer window. How are we going to do? The media have got absolutely no hope in us whatsoever. Predicted last 800 to 1. Can we do a Leicester? Probably not doing a Leicester, let's be honest. But yeah, the media think we are rubbish this season, which is interesting because I think we've done some very, very good business. And the first piece of business we've done is sold Alexis Clauboris to Al Raid for £8 million, which again, I think is fantastic financial business from us. Brought him in on a free contract, was decent in the first season, a backup last season, £8 million to Saudi Arabia. Thank you very, very much. If you're not utilising the Saudi Arabia tax, what are you doing? Go ahead and do it. Sander Berge has been brought in as our halfback. This guy is a fantastic player in real life at Sheffield United. Looks decent at Burnley now as well, but pretty much a backup throughout his whole time at Burnley on this save, and moved to Wolves and done nothing again. So we brought him in to be a halfback on defend. He's very consistent, very good in big matches as well. A value of just £5 million. We paid £1 million for Sander Berge, so hopefully he can be a very, very good holding DM for us. Now the cover star, this is the most ridiculous signing I've ever made. Gift Orban is fantastic on FM. He is, again, he's on the African WONDERKIDS list. If you've never seen this guy, go and watch the Zealand video on him. I think I've said it now, but I think I signed him in the Everton Rebuild, right, as well, because I'm in love. He's so good. 16 dribbling, 15 finishing, 17 flair, great pace, great determination, and is hopefully going to be a massive step up on our current strikers. Now, Safnat Mwenta signing for just £1 million was a bargain. £11 million for this man is quite simply ridiculous. Gift Orban, please come and save our job. An absolute hero. Axel Tuanzebe has been brought in for £12.5 million from Ipswich. This guy, Manchester United prospect, looks fantastic. Very injury prone. He's got that little orange tag against him on FM as well. But if this guy could stay fit, he would be in United's team right now rather than Johnny Evans. Let's be honest, he is fantastic. Very good pace, just very well rounded. Look at the stats. He's absolutely brilliant. Axel Tuanzebe is in for £12.5 million. £3.5 million for Marquinhos, not the centre-back from PSG, but the youngster, the Brazilian from Arsenal. Great pace, great dribbling, great first touch, great determination, great flair. Pretty much a backup his whole career. He's been on loan at Nantes and then at Sunderland, nothing at Arsenal, and is now going to come here and hopefully sort of put himself onto the English stage and be the player he could be in real life, because he's got some fantastic potential. And in terms of the last signing we made is another midfielder, and one that isn't needed at all. We've got Elias Chair and Alex Robertson to do the attacking midfield roles, but Gus Till on a free contract from PSV, a value of £53 million. And yes, he was free, is quite simply the best business I've ever done in my life. He is one of the most well-rounded midfielders on the game. He can play in cam. If you have loads of injuries, he can play up front. He's great finishing, great ability, 6 foot tall. And for a free contract was just way too good to turn down. It leaves our squad looking very, very strong. Bergstrom in goal still from the very, very start. Cannon, Tuanzebe, Edwards and Powell. Cannon and Powell still in the team from the start here in the Premier League. Berge as backup, or as the halfback, sorry. Till and Robertson in midfield. Eran Kuda as the right wing. Ilias Chair, of course, still here on the left wing, and Gift Orban up top. Joe Walsh is now a backup Premier League goalkeeper. If you're watching, Joe, you're a hero. Odell Offia, Jimmy Dunn, Clark Salter and Morgan Fox. 3 players, well, 4 in the back 5 backups that are there in real life. Georgie Dobson is now backup Premier League CDM. Papagay and Jensen Vera, 2 very good midfielders, be backups. Marquinhos, Jude McKenna, Safnat Mwenta, Will Fish, Chris Willock and Sinclair Armstrong is still here at the club. Last season we loaned him out to Stevenage to go ahead and get some game time. He did fairly decent, so he's going to stay around as a backup this season. But again, it's disrespectful just how much this guy doesn't grow. He's already in the Irish team in real life. FM, please fix Sinclair Armstrong. He's an absolute baller. But that is the transfers for season 4. We spent around £38 million, sold £8 million, so spent about 30 million, which is very, very good business for your first season in the Premier League. It's not too stupid, so hopefully we can go ahead and solidify ourselves this season. Safety is all we want. If we come 17th on 20 points and we survive, I couldn't care less. Let's go ahead and do it for season 4. And that is pretty much exactly what we've done. 38 points, coming 16th, 4 clear of relegation. I couldn't care less. We're safe in the Premier League, which is fantastic. A negative 19 goal difference isn't even that bad. It means defensively we were quite good. And what is it with rubbish teams of winning the Carabao Cup as well? City have now won the league in way too many in a row to even count. They are an absolute joke on in real life as well as FM, which is sad to say. But we are 16th in the Premier League. We are safe in the Premier League for the first season. Obviously, we've got to be wary of second season chaos. We've got £46 million to go ahead and spend. And Gift Orban was just fantastic this season. 18 goals and 2 assists. Pretty much single-handedly kept us in the Premier League this season. Gus Till, as a free contract, was an absolute bargain as well. 10 goals and 8 assists. 9 goals from Ilias Chair. 4 and 2 from the backup Safnat Mwenta. 3 and 2 from Alex Robertson. 3 and 4 from Marquinhos. 2 and 5 from Big Axel Tuanzebe. 1 and 4 from Nestroy Iran Kuda. Ronnie Edwards with a goal and no assists, which is fair enough, I suppose, as centre-back. And 3 assists for Kenneth Powell. Reggie Cannon, I can't see. Only 3 assists this season is quite a drop-off, but still a very, very good right-back, and shows what a quality signing this is in real life as well. And the team as a whole just looks fantastic. It's such a big improvement. If I pick it by the best 11, what the game thinks, it's just fantastic, isn't it? We're in DM, Till, Robertson, Powell, Salter, Tuanzebe, Cannon, Bergstrom, Marquinhos, Chair, Orban, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful sight to see QPR in the Premier League and not being absolutely rubbish and coming last by millions. We have done very well in terms of finances, £53 million in the bank. The debt is now 0. We've fixed them. QPR are fixed. I don't know how we've done it in just 4 seasons, but we have. And there is no editor going on. There is no tomfoolery happening in here, because what is the point in releasing a rebuild video with any tomfoolery going on? Absolutely none, in my opinion. So it is a completely legit thing that we have done here. In 4 seasons, we have turned QPR's fortunes around, and we're looking fantastic. So a lot of money to spend for season 5. I'm not sure how much we're going to go ahead and spend, because I do actually really like the squad. So we'll see what we do for season number 5. Well, I didn't want to financially cripple us, because obviously this save is available for you guys on Patreon after this season. So I thought there was no point in rebuilding, getting all the debt gone, and then completely killing the club for season number 5. So we had a net spend of just £15 million, which was helped by the sale of Safnat Mwenta for £14 million to Al Qasaida as well. I think these are in Saudi as well. Yes, they are. And keep buying my players, please, for the rest of FM, because it helps with these rebuilds very, very much. Very good player for us. 70 games in the end for QPR, 17 goals. If you haven't used him again, go and use him. He is absolutely fantastic. But £14 million was way too good to turn down, as was £12 million from Al Awaida in the United Arab Emirates for Papagay. So he is out the door as well. Meaning £25 has been 25 quid. Jesus, that would be a very poor piece of business. £25 million has been raised for us. And the first order of business was to improve Lucas Bergstrom and go ahead and sign one of the best wonderkid goalkeepers in the game. Guilherme Orestes from Strasbourg from Toulouse, has come in. He's been at Strasbourg in his career here, and Again, you guys have probably signed this guy. He's fantastic. He is an Albon Lafont regen, 22 years of age, very consistent, great determination, reflexes, just a fantastic well-rounded keeper, and cost us £25 million, so was the main signing of the summer, but is well worth it, and as is a proper half-back on defend, Ethan Ampadu. This guy has moved to Leeds in real life, and in our career, 146 games for Leeds, so much more experience under his belt now, which got me to get him, because quite simply his stats are great bravery, anticipation, composure, marking and tackling, which as a halfback, being able to defend as well as bring the ball out is absolutely key. So he is in as our back, well, as our halfback on defend. So a very good signing. Judson Sutbell has been brought in as a backup winger / striker. Great pace, great finishing, great determination. A free contract had been released from Spurs, done well at Blackpool last season, 13 goals in 40 games. And for us, it's going to be fantastic. Juan Larios has been brought in to compete with Kenneth Powell at left back. Wonder kid from Southampton, released from Man City a few years ago, picked up by Southampton. And how good does he look? Great acceleration, great pace, and great crossing and dribbling stats as well. So Juan Larios is also in, as well as our final signing, and one for myself as a United fan, Hannibal Medjbury as a free contract, a free signing yet again. Great stamina, great aggression, great determination, great work rate. A midfield of him and George Dobson would be absolutely dangerous, but we love it. And Hannibal is in as well as midfielder, very consistent, loves big matches, just a little bit aggressive, and he has to tone that down in real life quite a bit, otherwise he's going to get himself in trouble a lot. So Hannibal Medjbury is also into the club, and again this season the media are predicting us to come down in last place, 800 to 1, and last by quite some distance. Again, I think our squad is very, very good. If we go through the actual whole team and again pick it by its best 11, it's looking very, very strong. We've got Restes in goal, Cannon Tuanzebe, Beck Sorensen, who we didn't go through, was on a free contract, I don't know where he got to, but Mads Beck Sorensen is a centre back. I missed him somehow. He looks absolutely fantastic. Great long throws, jumping reach, and defensive attributes as well. As we moved on to Midtjylland on our save, and then we signed up on a free contract. So bargain again. Apologies, we missed that one. So Restes, Cannon, Tuanzebe, Beck Sorensen, Larios, Ampadu, Gustil, Robertson, Marquinhos, Chair, and Auburn. With Bergstrom, Offia, Clark Salter, Ronnie Edwards, Kenneth Powell, Sander Berge, Hannibal, Jensen Veer, Eran Kuda, Judson Sutbell, Sinclair Armstrong, Joe Walsh, and Will Fish here at the club. 5 seasons in. Can we survive in the Premier League again? So we leave this on the best possible way for you guys to pick up. Well, of course we can. Pretty much absolutely no improvement on last season. 36 points, a negative 31 goal difference, which anything is worse. But we take it and we move. Norwich have done it again and won another competition, which is wild to me. We've been useless in the cups in this save, but to be honest, the league is very much what I was concentrating on. Liverpool have broken the Manchester City duck as well, which is fantastic. I mean, it's Liverpool have won, so why am I even happy? I don't know. £57 million in the bank again. Lots of transfer budget. No pretty much debt at all, 29 grand in transfer debt. So we have absolutely smashed it with this QPR rebuild. In terms of players doing bits, Orban, Gustil, Nestoria and Kuda started to come into things this season. Sunset Bell, Hannibal, and the average ratings wise, Sinclair Armstrong when he played was very, very good. Marquinhos was very, very good with lots of assists. But Gift Orban really is the superstar. 17 goals. Build this club around him. He's a Nigerian striker, absolutely fantastic. And again, if you haven't watched the Zealand video, the story of this guy is simply fantastic, so go and give that a watch. But if you don't want to watch Zealand and you want to carry on watching Kempi for the greatest Football Manager content on the platform, go ahead and watch this one. It should be my started and completed FM in Malaysia, and it was an absolute banger of a video and a very different video from myself as well. So if you haven't watched that one yet, go and watch that one. It's a banger. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.